Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this series from Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford. We've got this little house to do today, so let's come in a bit closer. Now I have found some colours that I think might work because it's a little bit, I wasn't really sure what I could use, but I think I found something. Now this house, I'm going to start with the roofs. I have picked the mahogany red. I think it's the closest to these reds that we used for this one. And I'm just having a look. These have just been done in plain colouring. That's what I'm going to do. You don't really see houses with red roofs very much in this country, but I know you do in other countries. It's quite nice, isn't it? I think to have something a bit different. And why not? I don't think I've seen, let me think, most houses I see, I'm just looking at the roofs and they're darker at the top than the bottom. Most houses I see have grey roofs with just a boring tile. Ours is sort of concrete tiles. I think that's quite normal for around here. There is one that's got a pattern in the roof, which is quite fun, near where my father-in-law lives. Now, the next one I wasn't very sure about was the chimney. They've been done in a sort of caput mortuum type colour, which again we have nothing like. So I am going to try the terracotta for our chimney. It's because the chimneys are slightly more on the brown side. I thought this would sort of look right. So I'm trying to just put a little bit more colour on the edges to make the chimney look a bit more rounded. Hopefully it does that a little bit. It's not really the right colour, but I don't think it matters too much. Now, our houses are wooden and our doors and window frames are also, doors and shutters, we have shutters on this one, are also wooden. So the houses are quite light wood, so I picked out the beige as our sort of base. Oh, you're never going to be able to see that. How about that? No. Sorry. So I'm going to do all of the house in the beige. I'm going to layer it up a little bit because we want to be able to see it. I do want it pale, but not so pale we can't see what's going on. You can see this looks like a wooden house. That's why I chose wood for these houses, because of this one. I find this beige looks slightly sort of peachy in colour, and I always use it for my skin tones. If I'm using Prismas for skin tones, it's a very good one. I actually did a skin tone picture yesterday, a face, and I used my Black Widow skin tones, and sometimes I can't get a particularly good result with those. I think it's just lack of practice. It's nothing to do with the pencils themselves, but I got a really pleasing result, so that was nice. You would have seen it if you've watched my completed pages video, so I popped it on there. Now I'm going to use the light umber to put in the stripes of wood. These are obviously drawn in, but we're going to go over them anyway. These aren't. So I'm just going to sort of draw in. And then the same here, so draw them in here. I'm going to add some in because they're really far apart. Yeah, so I was really pleased. So I shall be trying those a bit more. I think what happens is I find them a bit bright and I'm not very confident with my skin tone, so I like to do them quite pale, but I'm getting more confident anyway, and I found a really good base colour, but I can't remember which one it was. It's good, isn't it? And I think it was a slightly peachy tone, and then I sort of built up from there really. This is really quite pale compared to the other one. I'm going to go over these a bit more. I'll make them a bit thicker. It'll look a bit darker. both my sons home now. One of them didn't have to go into college today, into university I should say, and the other one is back, so it's nice. Now the doors, we want them darker, so I am going to go for a dark umber. Oops, used a dark umber. Not the frame, that's going to be a different colour. Now I want it to look like it's stripy wood. So I'm putting some stripes into my colouring. I'll put a bit more in a minute. There we go. It's really sunny today. My son came home really hot, whereas I wasn't terrible. I had a jacket on when I was out. So, but it's probably got warmer because I was out a while ago. Excuse me. Right, I think that's okay. The colour is quite pale compared to that one, but I think if I try and darken it too much, it's going to be too dark. There isn't really a happy medium. Oh, unless I use... What about the sandbar brown? Hang on. I'm going to use the sandbar brown just to darken it a bit. It is definitely darkening it. Sorry, I was trying to see whether it was working and hence I stopped talking. I don't know whether it's good to have a break from talking or not, but I think if you want to hear sound, you want to hear sound. Right, that's a bit better. Not perfect, but better. Now, our windows are going to be in canary yellow. And they're just blocked in, so that's nice and easy. This is still a bit pale compared to the ones, I think they were like a dark cadmium yellow, so a bit darker than this. It's not orange enough, hang on. I'm going to try a bit of sunburst yellow on top. Not too much. Actually, it does need a fair bit. Just layering it on. I always think this looks a little bit orangey, but then the windows do anyway. Okay, now we need a sort of silvery colour for our window frames. I think I'm going to try the cool grey 30%. And what I've been doing with these is leaving a white gap, so filling in a bit and then leaving a bit so it looks shiny. Yeah. And same with the door frame, to put it a bit in at the edge on the top and leave a bit on the side. Do that with all of these little bits. Try and make it look a bit shiny. Interesting how the little windows don't have frames. But anyway, sure it's fine. Now this little pile of rocks here, I'm actually going to do in my sandbar brown. Because we haven't used much of it, I think it won't look like we've used the same colour, but it will work together with the colours that are there. Now ideally I would want to go around the edge a bit darker than the centre to make them look rounded, but that's really quite difficult with a Prisma pencil. But I'm going to grab my dark umber, just have a little try. Just try and put a bit more colour around the edge. them look a bit more shapely. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now we have these pots, and I'm thinking, do I do them in the roof colour or the terracotta? I think pots are more likely to be terracotta. However, this terracotta colour is not the colour of what I would consider to be a terracotta pot. I'm going to give it a sharpen anyway, and I'm actually going to match the two pots together. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the mahogany red because our house to the left has a pot and it's in the roof colour. So I'm going to copy that for some consistency. So here we are with our mahogany red. Okay, so now we have some markings here indicating this bit needs to be darker, so I'm just gently layering up. I'm being really gentle because I've only just sharpened it. That tip will be weak. I'm going to try and leave a lighter bit in the middle so that it looks like it's quite a shiny pot. And we'll do exactly the same with this one. And then bring that colour in so we've got a bit of a shine in the middle. Now we need some brown for the sort of, it's a tree, isn't it, like a tree trunk. Just looking at what I've got here already, I think I'm going to use the dark umber because I think our other colours are a little bit pale. Now the green we used for our plant to the left looks quite grey-green, a bit like a kelp green, something like that, maybe. So I think that's what I'm going to try and use. Kelp green. I like how it's called vert algae, like the French for kelp is algae. Whereas kelp is a bit of kelp is seaweed, but maybe maybe they don't like that word or something. This doesn't actually look anything like the other colour, but never mind. Oops. I can make it a bit darker just here where it overlaps the other bit nearer the bottom. There we go. Now the little one we'll try and make a bit more like that. I'm thinking maybe therefore it's a dark green. Is that the peacock green or the dark? That's peacock green. Try the dark green. Oh, it's nearly rolled on the floor then. Oh, it's quite far away. There's so many pencils in the set, as I'm sure you're aware. I'm going to try and leave a bit of shine in the middle of the leaf. It's really hard when they're so small. Yeah, there's so many pencils that I struggle to find room for them all. Okay, so now we're done with our basics. We're going to do a bit of shadowing. I think I might use the 90% warm grey for this because we've got more warmer colours. Now we're going to start under here. I'm going to put quite a defined line in because that overhangs the building. Maybe just extend it by blurring that edge a tad. Like that. Under this roof line too. Same sort of thing. That one might go above. Actually. Now we've got this bit here. I'm thinking that's a sort of lean-to on the side, so it's a bit further back. There'll be a bit of shadow there, and the same here. It's going to be a shadow along here, like that. Under here on the chimney. Yeah, I think that's enough. I'm just studying it. Yeah, I think so. So there we go. So there is our next house. Let's just brush off the pencil crumbs. And we are done on that one. So please join me tomorrow because it's our very last one. So that's really exciting. And yeah, it's an interesting one to say the least. We've got stonework walls tomorrow. So yeah, that'll be fun. Looking forward to it. So hopefully I'll see you there. Have a fantastic day and happy colouring.